Okay. Welcome. Looking forward to potentially wrapping up Tyranny tonight. I have no idea how much longer it's going to be, but I know that I have the rest of the Bastard's Wound DLC, and I just started Act 3, so, you know, the more I think about it, the more I think we're not going to finish it tonight, but... Oh, see Chris is in stream chat. I'm going to hop in. Hey, Chris. That's what I figured. As soon as I said it, I was like, no. We'll just skip all the dialogue. Just in it for the action. That's the point of the game, right? Alright. Gotta get out of this right here. And then move this over here. And then we are... There we go. And let me send this to Discord. There we go. Can't remember where we left off. I think I was just about to start the...
You were headed to Bastard's Wound, weren't you?
Yep. Yep, that's it. Heading over to Bastard's Wound to start that whole quest line, and then... was there anything else? I thought there was like one thing I wanted to do before Bastard's Wound, but I can't remember. Oh, Landry leveled up. Oh, we can revive somebody? It's pretty nice. His healing tree is pretty good.
Do like Landry's preservation tree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was putting stuff into his magic tree just because I wanted all the bonuses that came from that, but man, I slept on the preservation tree. What do you want to give him? Quickness? Quickness is always good. What do I want to give her? Make her kind of tanky. Feels weird having Eb be the tankier one, but I think she's the one that has the best stats for it.
Checks out.
Oh, hey, alright, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Can't complain. Yeah, other than it being on Monday, but
Yeah, that's fair.
hard to complain about that when it always happens. It just keeps happening.
Oh, au contraire, it's very easy to complain.
Alright, I can't remember what I was doing here. I know I have to talk to the two leaders. Jaspis and Wagstaff, and then I have to find the Chronicle. I'll go do that first. So how you guys doing? Having a good Monday?
Getting by. Could be doing worse, that's for sure.
How you feeling, Chris?
Could be doing worse, that's for sure. About the same, really.
Okay. I have no idea where this thing is supposed to be. Maybe over here? Well, Lantry's here. Maybe I should research these containers. How about you, Ari? How you doing?
Can't do that.
I am good. Sorry, I was trying to figure out Discord wiped out my push to talk keyboard shortcut.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
Can't do
fortunately,
that.
it's easy enough to add it back now that I know where it is.
Oh.
Today was good. I feel like it was decently productive for once.
That's good. Ah, the ill-concealed text in a pile of pig shit trick. Classic. There's a subject close to my heart. Histories of the school of Ink and Quill. Who doesn't love a little autochronicle? Roll calls, minutes, graduation announcements, publication dates, and letters. Oh my. I doubt sages Corin and Ostrek had any idea their correspondences would be immortalized for the records. Not the most exciting bit of history, but I can see why Mel and Lexeum would want the words of colleagues close to hand. This brings back memories. Indeed, some of these notes even have my name on them. Ah, yes, there's my series on bird anatomy. I did that back in 388. Where have the years gone? Do these notes include parts where you conspire to steal our magic? A slight cough escapes Lannister's lips, but he offers no reply aside from turning pages. Well, do they? Well, of course they do. Lantry pauses, his eyes stopping to read the text before him. Nope, they don't. This is about entrapping a old dolt from the School of Wild Wrath. Enemy like the Tidecasters, you fight without a written record. Think I'm flattered? Come closer so I can show you my appreciation. Nice try, old hag. Lantry never makes the same mistake 8 times. I know it's also worthless in hindsight, but it's a record of our school, whatever that's worth. I can obsess about these later. We've other things to do, right? Lantry closes the text and looks up at you with a smile. We can pause. I'll look around while I ever read. How can I say no to that order? Several minutes pass as Lantry pores over the pages. Strange. All these names are dead people. Good riddance to some. Others are loss. Kairos' loss. Anything seem incorrect? Sage's Ostrek's grammar is appalling, but no, not really. Sorry, no spells or great recipes for grappa, just lectures, letters, and other sentimental detritus. Anyone you know? In a way, all of them. The school was never crowded enough to disappear into anonymity, but as a field scholar of sorts, I was as distant as it gets. Pick up one of the volumes and peruse? In this regard, Lantry was correct. Countless sheaves of parchment, all of it social correspondences and academic text of plodding, boring detail. Look for something out of place. You spot a page inked with a conspicuously glossy sheen, suggesting ink far fresher than the original writing. A minuscule crease along the binding hints at where this page is inserted, likely via magically means? Oh wow. They need to proofread the DLC. Via magical means, to blend almost seamlessly. The text describes a debate between sages discussing the riddle of rings, and one sage, with the familiar name of Lantry, is arguing that the riddle of rings posits that Kairos has already conquered the Tears. For if the sages speak the language of Kairos, Lantry reasoned, and use the currency of Kairos, then military conquest is an extraneous formality. Odd, I learned the riddle of rings differently, bronze first, iron last. Oh, so you know the original? No disrespect to the Forgebound, but it's a great teaching tool. I just borrowed the term for rhetorical effect that day. It was 425, and Sage Cavil was giving a lecture series, having recently returned from his expedition to observe the Forgebound and their ways. At one point, he discussed their teaching methods, so the riddle of rings came up as part of his lecture. So the lore is, having spent a year with the Forgebound as governor of Lethian's Crossing, you've been subjected to countless hours of banter from the artisan magi. Know the riddle as a sort of proverb the elder Forgebound teach their apprentices. Which melts first is the riddle of rings. Novices often assume that the common copper ring melts in a hot flame, the bronze ring in a hotter flame, and the lucrative iron ring melts in the hottest flame of all. But a trained Forgebound knows otherwise. The riddle is generally mentioned when young apprentices ask too many questions about why others outside the guild seem utterly incapable of appraising and respecting good craftsmanship. At the time, I joked that the real riddle of rings is, aren't we already conquered? And I launched into a not entirely sober diatribe about Kairos' inevitable invasion and dominion. According to this, I gave a stirring speech met with applause. Hardly. I was hit in the head with an old scroll case and told to sit down, shut up, and let the scholars talk. Maybe your interpretation of the riddle was the one worth remembering. Even so, this is not how it happened. you could correct the record. I could, and I'll make a note to return to this. Until I know why this was edited as such, I'd just assume not tamper further. I think my nostalgia has been overtaxed for the time being. Let's get moving. I need to think on this a bit. Doesn't say where the remaining chronicles are. They're just lower sections of the Bastard Ruined Old Walls. Moving on. In the back of my mind, I also know that I need to go visit some old walls somewhere to get a torch key, because there's a passageway in the old walls under the, I think, southernmost spire that has some treasure, and I think an enemy behind it, and I'm gonna go see what that's all about. Oh, this is not the right way. We're gonna get out of here. Let's go disappoint Jaspis. Ah, Fatebinder, you've returned. Was there something else you needed? I decided not to take back your tools. His smile vanishes and is quickly replaced with a mask of carefully suppressed rage. Fatebinder, that news is beyond displeasing to me. I thought the tools made for a modest request. I don't see a way for us to forge on ahead. He slams his sledgehammer into a nearby rock, pulverizing it beyond any use. If you will excuse me, Fatebinder, the settlers have needs I must attend to. Okay. Let's go talk to Wagstaff. Oh, he wants to talk. What's up? Fatebinder. If you have a moment, I'd like to discuss a potential problem in the wound. Seeing as you're already helping our leaders with their petty disputes, did I say disputes? I meant their concerns for the wound. There's little to do to stave off boredom when you're trapped in this crack in the world. Tensions run high, and unless you blow off steam by betting or beating your neighbors, you need alternatives. So it shouldn't come as a surprise that many of our own will wager their rings for fun. You're gambling? Yes, not that I want a chance of Fatebinder's ire for my troubles. One wager has grown to a kind of tradition for us, betting on which of our beastmen might fall to the Bane while on patrol. Our wound kin send hunting parties into the old walls to lure the Bane away from the settlement. They're good, but death wins every wager in the end. Scribe Mel manages the bets and tells everyone the odds, but I think he's cheating. The results haven't made much sense lately, and people are starting to grumble. First horde in the burnt-out village, now you guys. Is everyone the whole Tears gamble? People take their pleasures where they can get it. You can't invade the Tears and expect centuries-old traditions to vanish in a heartbeat. And what are the chorus if not Tearsmen forced to wear bloody northern rags? Does Mel set the odds himself? No, not Mel. Have you seen her disfavored guest, Telesophia? She's the one strung up like a decoration in the middle of the settlement. Not exactly tolerant for beastmen, that one, but she knows how to size them up. Mel got the idea to use her insight, so she more or less sets the odds. You'll have to get the details from her, though. How do you know Mel's cheating? Too much good fortune is how. We placed our safest bets on the strongest beastmen, and of late they've been falling more often than the weak. Only Mel stands to profit from that. The odds Mel sets look right enough, but maybe that sage is being crafty in a way that I can't understand. Something just doesn't feel right. Why shouldn't I put an end to all this gambling? Certainly your prerogative. I just hope you agree that some vices are worth tolerating if they prevent even bigger ones. You want to talk to Mel. Might not be a half-bad idea if you manage to clear my debts in the process. That scribe has collected more rings from my mangled hands than I can remember. Should be a crime to steal from a cripple. Are other settlers complaining about this? Some of us have talked about it, yes. I suppose you can say I'm one of the devoted. And why not? There aren't many thrills to be had for me otherwise. I'm putting the remnants of the rostrum fortune to use. I mentioned my suspicions to both Jaspis and Wagstaff, but they're too fixated on one another to pay this any mind, so I've no else but to grumble to other than myself. My thanks, Fatebinder. I just wanted to bring this to your attention. Maybe this is all nothing, but my gut says otherwise. Okay. Well, we can question Mel and also question Sophia, right? Nope. Looks like we're gonna go question Mel then. I thought that Mel was the one at the entrance. Fatebinder, you've returned. It seems Jaspis is rather furious with you at the moment. Not sure exactly what you did to enrage him, but be advised. Is there anything I can help you with? I know about this gambling ring you're running. I see nothing escapes your notice, Fatebinder. I'd characterize my participation more as facilitating than running, but the distinction may be irrelevant in Kairos' eyes. Gambling is more of a public service. We have little enough to occupy our time here. How'd you get to be the bookkeeper? I was sharing drinks with some of the Woundkin handlers, those who prepare hunting parties before departure to see the beastmen's needs and injuries upon return. Our conversation took a grim turn towards which of the beastmen would survive and which would fall to the bane. Idle chatter quickly devolved into wagers. Before I knew it, everyone was thrusting rings into my hands. I had no desire to flaunt Kairos' laws, but most of us have played bets at one point or another. Rings aren't worth nearly as much here as they are on the surface. Betting with them is just a step beyond using polished stones. Rostrum Link seems convinced that you're cheating everyone of their rings. Rostrum had a string of bad luck, so it could be his angst manifested as suspicion. Tel Sophia praises the Woundkin, and I translate those impressions into the odds. Most of her expertise mirrors common sense. Bigger beastwomen are, after all, actually stronger and more resilient than smaller hunters. Ask her about it if you like. I'll return once I've spoken with Tel Sophia. Now I can talk to her. How's the day treating you, Fatebinder? I'm looking for some information you may have. She glances downwards and contemplates quietly before speaking up. Information is the one thing I can offer while trapped here. I'm sure you're looking for something important. I'm looking to do something important. If you can help me right an injustice, I'll tell you whatever it is you want to know. And what injustice is that? You may have noticed an Earthshaker wandering about this place. That's Argane, and he betrayed my unit the same way Karen turned from his allies. The coward surrendered the moment blades were drawn. Now he spends his days cavorting with Jaspis, lost in mystic foreplay with that fool who ought to be forging proper war iron, not polishing rocks. Karen's rogue disciples were to be destroyed, yet I've no way to satisfy that order, short of strangling him with my legs. I'm asking you for help. Give him justice he deserves, and I'll let you know whatever you want to know. How do I know you actually have what I'm seeking? I might as well be an ornament atop this column. People either ignore me and whisper their secrets right under my nose, or share them with me when they're missing a friendly ear. You'd be surprised how normal my presence here is considered. I know everything going on down here, whether I like it or not. I'll think about it. That's the guy. A man clad in frayed remnants of his Earthshaker uniform focuses intently upon dark stones held in cupped hands. His eyes move from one piece to the next. He hears your footsteps and shifts his gaze to meet yours. Fatebinder, forgive me, I didn't see you. Jaspis has me performing these exercises to attune my senses, to see the shapes hidden within the rock. Flustered, he quickly tugs on the hem of his shirt and straightens his belt. I may not be the disfavored anymore, but I still recognize a Fateminders authority. Is there something you need from me? How does an Earthshaker end up the company of this motley? I'm the odd man out, I know. After Karen had been declared a criminal, Graven Ash charged us with scouring the Archon's belongings and retracing his path. I was with the group headed to the Gates of Judgment. As we cut west across these mountains, we came upon this place. Of course, any association to Karen didn't make me popular with the Legion. Philosophia was all too eager to remind me that if Karen's treachery were ever to come to light, all Earthshakers would likely be executed for assumed collusion. So you forgive me if after stumbling upon Bastard's Womb and facing insurmountable odds in battle, I decided to surrender rather than join my hateful companions in death. What do you think of Bastard's Womb? I find myself at home here, even if everything about the old walls seems antithetical to life. The Bane don't kill you, the water will. Without Jaspis, this place couldn't exist. The old walls have always been invigorating spaces for mages of my ilk. They're like untapped fonts of magical energy. The ancient masonry, inspiring. What was life like to the people that shaped these massive walls? You speak well of Jaspis. Jaspis is many things. Teacher, husband, companion. But he is teaching me to connect with stone in a deeply personal way. Earthshakers manipulate rock, but we don't feel or shape them with the intimacy of the Forgebound. Doesn't seem like a bad guy. Alright, Jaspis doesn't want anything to do with this, so... yeah, we'll kill him. There's an important matter I need to discuss with you, but only outside, away from prying eyes. Well, if you solve the Chorus gang squatting in the ruins outside, I guess it's safe again to step outside and enjoy the fresh air. If it will assist in your Fateminder duties, let's talk further. I will meet you topside. Maybe I'll just tell him to get out of here. Seems to be an option a lot of the time.
You would do that? Just lie?
Go on the internet and do something like that?
Outrageous.
It takes me as long to teleport across the entire continent as it does to walk into the entrance of this cave.
I'm surprised it takes any time at all to teleport.
Right.
It feels like he left it for me. A message. There's some meaning in the music, I think. I don't understand it. But maybe there's more deeper in. Let's go.
Stern pulls a crystal from the formation and slips it among her belongings. It slides free without effort. Okay.
Sorry, can't.
I'm assuming that's further into the old walls we'll have to go. Oh. Am I supposed to go to the Shattered Bastion? Yeah. Now it's going to take me 4 hours to get just outside the cave.
Wasn't the dude you needed to speak to, like, already with you?
No. No, he... Lantry kind of looks like him, but not the same guy.
Sorry, can't.
Saves on the west side. Went the wrong way. I'm also going the wrong way now. It's east. Up on this cliff. Oh, there he is. A sneaky little quick save. The Earthshaker watches the horizon from the overlook, taking in deep breaths of the crisp mountain air with a satisfied smile. It's been a while since I could step foot outside. Thanks for clearing out the course goons occupying these ruins. Now what did you need to discuss, Fatebinder? I'm here on behalf of Telesphia. The color drains from Aragon's face. He raises a quivering hand in a defensive posture, ready to trace an arcane sigil. Why? Why would you? That woman's need for vengeance is a poison. She'd kill me even if it meant using you like a puppet. Any information your death was a price. Leave Bastard's wound and we can avoid any unnecessary bloodshed. I will not leave Jaspis. My life with him is the only good thing I've built in all of Kyrus' wretched empire. You're a fool for not saying the obvious. Jaspis wants you dead too. He's gotten what he needs. Why would he do this? Argane folds his hands tightly, his breath coming out in a whisper. Jaspis used you for your magic. Gaining insight from a member of a rival guild has its uses. Nodding with confirmation, Argane presses his temples and takes a long and thoughtful silence for himself. That is much for me to consider. Perhaps it's best that I resume my sojourn to follow Cairn and leave the wound for a time. If Jaspis does sincerely need my help to run this place, he can find me. He begins to make his way down the cliffside, pausing to look back at you every few paces. Before long, he's out of sight.
I got it.
There we
Were
go.
supposed to kill him?
The chick in the wall said he was a coward, that he should be brought to justice. We just lied instead.
Can't do that.
So tell Sophia. We'll tell her he's dead. Learn more about the gambling ring. A reason to kill somebody over a little gambling ring. Okay, he's dead. At long last. Thank you, Fatebinder. The shame of this task left undone has eaten at me more than starvation or these ropes tied about my wrists. Thank you, Fatebinder. My mind is yours now. Ask me what you will. Where'd you set the odds for Mel's hunting party wagers? How do you do that? I was part of the advance in Azure before the edict ripped the landscape into ruin. I had to deal with lots of uncooperative beastmen, so I know a thing or two about sizing up the mongrels. Can't do much else from here but watch. So I know details like injuries or beasts who don't play nice. They hide their wounds and act tough, but I can always tell. It's not an easy thing to see through unless you're me. Mel comes by every now and then for idle talk. He feeds me leftovers. I feed him what I know in exchange, and he uses that to calculate his odds. Strange arrangement we have, but I like to eat just as much as everybody else. You think Mel could be cheating in some way? I wouldn't know, Fateminder. I've got keen eyes, but they don't get around this place much these days. I've seen the odds he sets. They line up with what I tell him. Still, a lot of the stronger beastmen have been dying lately. Bad luck, perhaps? I don't see how that skinny scribe could be causing that. One beast claimed to see humans in the old walls during a hunt. Could be Sleepless, wondering the depths, of course. She set off to investigate and never returned. Shouldn't have gone without a pack. Okay. The plot thickens. Maybe nobody's cheating. Maybe people are killing them. Fatebinder, you returned. Anything I can help you with? Spoke with Telesofia. You did. Good. I imagine she confirmed everything as I've stated. You can explain why the strong beastmen have been dying. The only explanation is they've been deliberately hunted by someone from the wound. That's evasion at this point would be preposterous. You have a keen mind for sniffing out connections between events, well suited for sagely endeavors, actually. You're right. Someone is killing beastmen, and it's Tonviz. You should know this whole killing business wasn't my idea. I saw him returning from the old walls late one night with beastmen blood staining his smock and weapons. He was careful to avoid the handlers, but didn't catch me observing him. Next day, word arrived that one of the hunters had fallen to the bane. When I saw Tons later with a fresh hide for tanning, it became all too obvious. I confronted him, and he suggested that I use my advantage to profit from it. He'd even defy the gambling odds so I could keep a greater share of rings. I agreed more out of fright than anything else. Tons is a skilled hunter, after all. If he could take down beastmen, he could easily silence me. I do know of his most recent plans. There. That's where Tons lures his victims, and where he doubtlessly killed another beastman recently. If you go and inspect any bodies, I'm sure you'll find proof of his involvement. You should hurry, before the other beastmen find it and remove all evidence in their cleansing ritual. What do you mean by cleansing ritual? Oh, you're not aware? Beastmen have a curious burial rite for their fallen. They eat their dead. Many tribes see this as a way of keeping their packmates close, quite literally, it seems. Beastmen also tend to believe that some measure of another's strength can be captured upon consumption. At any rate, once the Woundkin hunters discover they're dead, they'll perform the ritual. You'd best hurry. Man, I kind of wish I brought Kills and Shadow for this conversation. Take this keystone. It'll grant you access to the southernmost portal in the settlement. From there, you'll find the spot where Tons lures his victims. Nice. Now let's go talk to Wagstaff. Paybinder. What else do you want of me? I have news regarding Phoebe. I have her possessions as requested. Well done indeed. A moldy copy of Capellum's fifth treatise? Ha! Disproven. How quaint. I remember these iridescent shells. Always sentimental, that Phoebe. Is that it? Did you not find any of her recent writings or bound journal of some sort? You think we're holding out on you? She was a prisoner of the chorus. They were burning parchment for cooking fires. You want us to go back and grab you the ashes? You waddled in here with this fake binder, and I can only assume your fluency with deception is contagious. Of course, already picked over her possessions. The chorus got her? I doubt they even left her the tunic on her bat. I assume then she's dead? She's dead, as requested. Thank the tides. Perhaps I'm a bit greedy, hoping she'll have more worth plundering, but what's important is she's dead, and as is her knowledge of this place. Fatebinder, I thought your arrival would lead us to ruin, but instead you have blessed us with your service. You have my thanks. The bastard's wound presents all sorts of threats. The bane, sparse vegetation, the toxic water. Perhaps the oddest threat came from within. Reef Talon, former alpha of sorts to our tribe, became wild and uncontrolled. She started to exhibit healing powers, or so it seemed. She could heal the outward symptoms of injuries, but those she treated became sleepless, doomed to waste away. Reef Talon is gone. She fled into the old walls, but in her lies an answer to our woes. Her mystically charged blood will allow me to make purifying reagents for decades, probably longer. Putting her down will also prevent her healing others and making more sleepless. Put it bluntly, kill her, bring back the corpse, and you'll have solved our water and sleepless problems in one slice. Killing her really necessary? No, but I doubt nasty wounds and harsh glares will browbeat her into surrender. I'm going to use her blood for your purifying agent, but you mentioned her healing power corrupted people. Are you sure this will work? Confident. Not certain. You raise a valid concern, but I've used Reef Talon's blood in the earliest iterations of my purification agent. If her blood was problematic, we'd have found out already the hard way. Yeah, I'll take care of it. Together we might save the wound. As it happens, my eyes and ears tell me Jaspis is a crew of hunters also looking for Reef Talon. It's imperative we find her first. You'll need two things. First, hold on to my warden's key. Wagstaff bundles a medallion from a pouch and places it into your hand. You'll need this down below. It should let you access the switches and runes of the old walls from afar. It's essential for navigating the depths. Try not to get yourself killed down there. Not only am I grateful for the mercy you've shown our settlement, I also need this trinket back eventually. Second, you'll need the keystone to the teleporter that takes you down to the untamed sections of the old walls. Speak to Insipid Moniker, tell her you need the keystone, tell her you have my approval.
What a name.
Right. I need access to the old walls teleporter. I was told that you have the keystone that opens it. Yeah, I've got it. Roxman entrusted me for safekeeping. Why should I let some outsider take it off my hands? I'll do lore. Right, of course. Don't let this peon delay you any further. Her smirk vanishes as she unwraps the keystone and pushes it forcefully into your hands. Don't take my needling too seriously, Fatebinder. Not many skulls to crack down here, so I've got to get my excitement where I can. Watch out for the sleepless while you're down there. Do us a favor and put a few out of their misery. Alright, now what? Yeah. Was it, did you say southernmost teleporter? Okay. Where's that? Down here? To the south, I would assume? Southernmost? Kind of a jump. Leap of logic.
Found something.
Ah. The corpse of a woundkin lays in a heap at your feet. While the corpse is cold, the lack of decay suggests the beast recently met its end. Look for signs of a struggle. There's blood pooled by the corpse, but little in the way of spatter or torn fur that you'd expect to see after a fight. The beast was likely caught unawares. That a cat? Okay. Immunity to prone's pretty good. Don't know why a cat would give me that, though. Give her...
You trusting me with this? No, not complaining.
Alright. Back up we go. I thought that was going to lead me into the rest of the old walls, but I'm assuming I have to take the other teleporter. With the keystone I just got.
Sorry, can't.
Mel. Ah, I guess I gotta go straight to Tom's, huh? I don't know. Okay, over there. Wait, what? The map is telling me lies. When I get over here, it tells me Telesophia's over there. There he is. The forge-bound apprentice stares intently at the amber hide he holds aloft, pounding its surface methodically with a heavy iron mace. The light from the nearby hearth dances across his eyes. As you draw closer, the pungent odors of tanning agents thickens in the air. He turns to you wearing a stoic expression. Is there a problem? You need something? Role in the settlement. It's my third year apprenticing under Jaspis. Between that and trying to keep the settlement running, I'm never short on work. Whenever I can, I slip away to the surface with the woundkin for a good hunt. Caves and hollows are meant for the living. I get my materials from the kill. Tusk for tools, hide for sturdy clothing. The rest goes to tents, cots, and we haven't even gotten down to the meat. The woundkin, they understand better than we do. Suppose I'm also a napper. Jaspis is to pass down his art, right? But everyone knows my passion and skills in tanning. How's apprenticing been? Difficult. Don't mistake me. I pledge to follow him. My loyalty doesn't waver, but I damn well wish we just returned to the north as planned. Instead, I'm stuck inside these old walls, surrounded by Bane and branded as a traitor in Kairos' eyes. Jaspis didn't like my interest in leatherworking. think he saw it as an insult to his craft. If I favored it so much, I should have sought an apprenticeship with the master of tanning, right? Well, consider that another thing I'd plan to do when we return to the north. Truth is, people need my skill with hides and pelts far more than my attempts at napping. Every time I clothe or feed someone and they thank Jaspis, he has less and less to say about it. Now that Argane's apprenticing with him, I think he's content to let me dabble in tanning. Think Jaspis has the right to refer to himself as master? That's none of my business. Titles aren't worth a damn. Real forge-bound let their hands and their creations speak for them. I learn a lot from Jaspis, and that only makes me a better napper and tanner. If that means I'm doing my part to keep the settlement standing, I'm satisfied. You're bleeding, right, where your vampus has been damaged. I am? Strange. Must have been distracted earlier, probably snagging on a spiked hammer while working. Another thing that'll need to be fixed. Recognize this? Fuck. I had to do it for Jaspis. It's as plain as I can say it. I respect our woundkin. They're good warriors and neighbors. It pained me to do them harm. Why would Jaspis make you kill beastmen? He needs beastman bone for his sieves. Without it, we'd all catch withering rot from the water. When Reef Talon was still here, Woundkin could donate teeth and talon, and she'd use her magic to make sure they regrew. Between that and beastmen sometimes dying on the hunt, we had enough bone to keep the sieves flowing all day. But with Reef Talon gone, our hunters can't donate anymore. Jaspis told me I had to find a way to gather beastman bones or we'd all die. I didn't have a choice. You decided that murdering beastmen was the solution? What would you have done? Jaspis made it clear as what we needed. If we didn't clean that water, we'd all either die or be forced to the surface. Truth is that the wound is still going because of what I did. The beastmen always eat their fallen and leave the hide and bones behind. All I needed to do was separate and kill an injured beastman out in the hunt and let the others consume the evidence. Thought it was the best route among shit routes. Why'd you bring Mel into this? Why did I? It was that fucking bookworm thought to make a profit from this. Mel caught me returning with hide and bone at the odd hour, sussed it out before I could even think of an excuse, and forced me to give an advance word of any killings for his little gambling operation. Bastard made me go after the larger and healthier beastmen. For what? Just so that he could buck the odds and pocket more rings. I didn't have a choice. If I didn't kill the ones he wanted, he'd expose me. Mel did cheat the other gamblers. I don't know what he told those gambling idiots. I'll say this. Does he strike you as a particularly honest fellow? I wouldn't trust him. Do you truly believe this is the way to keep Bastard's Wound going? I wouldn't have done it if I thought otherwise. Facts are facts. Neither Wagstaff nor Jaspis could keep up with demand as is. Imagine how much worse it would be if Jaspis couldn't provide any clean water at all. If you stop me from doing what needs to be done, the wound will die. Mel's the one being reckless here. He only cares about rings. If you can get him off my back, that'll mean I can go back to only killing old or weakened woundkin. We need the strong ones to stay safe from the bane. You will? I figured you'd just take my head and be done with it. No. Mel's a crafty one. He's held the murders over my head ever since he found out, threatened to reveal what I'd done to everyone. He'll have half the wound up in arms over me. I'm not running, but I'm not going to give myself up to an angry mob. I'll head to the old walls and wait for the news from you. After you've talked to Mel, come find me. You already know where to go. That person also wants to talk to me. Fatebinder, have you seen Argane recently? His duty's normally keep him to the forge, and he's been gone for a while. Argane had enemies in the wound. I sent him away for his own safety. He's gone? Then you did him a kindness. Jaspis couldn't protect him forever. With luck, he'll be able to return in safer times. Anything in particular you'd like to discuss? What do you want to talk to me about? I hope I'm not troubling you over nothing. Instead, Moniker's a Wagstaff prime lackey, or apprentice, depending on your perspective. She's been heading into the old walls in the dead of night every night. I would have dismissed it all if not for the fact that she's taken woundkin with her on occasion, none of which have returned. How'd you discover this? I've been really into my work lately, lost in the chisel, I guess, and finding myself up when most of the wounds is asleep. Not every task needs a workbench, so I take my chert, I take my grit, I go for a stroll, I see insipid Moniker. If it were just one night, I'd see her do this. But you're becoming one of the sleepless, aren't you? I think I am. Started when I broke my hand under the mallet. Rookie mistake. I asked Reef Talon to heal it, but things have gone sour ever since. Can't sleep, can't summon a sigil to save my life. Worst of all, I don't know how much time I have left. I just want to enjoy whatever last moments I have with Jaspis. I'll look into it. Realize how nosy this makes me sound, but I notice she's pretty habitual about her jaunts. Maybe wait until the proper hour, or she'll see you and you'll scare her away, assuming she has something to hide. We'll do that.
Can't do that.
What are we gonna find? Oh. Path is blocked by a magical barrier of fire. The air shimmers with heat. A border of flickering arcane fire marking an impassable barrier. Excuse me. That prevents access to the old walls beyond.
You
Can't
gotta
do
fight
that.
fire with fire.
Just throw more fire at it, yeah.
Can't do
But it
that.
told me I had to go talk to... Well, let's go talk to Mel, first off. Raidbinder, you've returned. Is there anything I can help you with? I spoke with Tonvis. He made it clear that you forced him to target the strongest beastmen, all for profit. He said that, did he? He needn't glare again. I know an explanation's in order. Tonvis never knew about my true motivation, which was decidedly not in service of rings. When I confronted him about the killings, I saw an opportunity to turn his crimes into something that would help us all. The wound's well-being is also my well-being, and I've seen what others have been happy to ignore. Not all of the beastmen care for our current arrangement. When Reef Talon was with us, she stamped down dissent within the beastmen. This place may look like a miraculous experiment between our races, but its success rests upon a shaky foundation. Ever since she left, I've seen more of our dominant beastmen voice concerns, even suggest that they leave us humans to fend for ourselves. That, of course, would be unmitigated disaster. I told Tonvis I'd keep it a secret, so long as I dictated which beastmen he could kill. Not surprisingly, the noisiest woundkin were often the toughest, but that was purely a coincidence. These killings have kept the settlement going. I took no pleasure in it. That I gained a few rings in the process was entirely incidental. Yeah, regardless of your intent, all the scheming stops now. Thomas's murders are wrong and must be put to an end. He presses his lips tightly together, a restrained expression of consternation. Yes, of course you're correct. Murder's a crime, but what stability is not built upon unsavory foundation? But you're the Fatebinder. If Tonvis agrees to stop his work, then we'll just have to find another way to keep the present arrangement agreeable to our beastmen brothers and sisters. If there's nothing else, then I'm afraid I have some manifests that require my attention. Tonvis in the old walls? It's not in these old walls, right? Oh, Fatebinder. Sorry, I'm easily distracted these days, it seems. Anything in particular you'd like to discuss? What happened earlier with the hammer? I was embarrassing myself again. Seems like that's my only reliable talent these days. Thought I was a competent napper, particularly a journeyman in skill. Practically a journeyman in skill. Lately, even the simplest preparatory spells vex me, like that sorry display you witnessed. Something about this place is hollowing me out from the inside. I think like an iron maker? Iron keeper? Metallurgist? Metallurgist?
It's a weird term for it.
Yeah, I haven't heard it before this game.
I thought it was like kidnapping, like they were just stealing people.
I'm Jaspis' apprentice, have been so for the last few years. Napping wasn't originally my specialty. I apprenticed under Master Erasma back in Lethian's Crossing, but a freak accident meant that she'd take her secrets of the ceramic arts to the void. Jaspis had just finished his work and was returning north for more training with the guild, so I joined him. Long story short, we stumbled upon the wound and stayed, and I took on new trade with Jaspis as my mentor. Maybe napping is specifically ceramics.
Oh, that could be.
Do you enjoy working for Jaspis? I do. Jaspis introduced me to napping, and it came easier than pottery, my first craft. If we hadn't fallen in love and married, I might have returned to the north and stayed in Kairos' good grace. I was ensnared by his talent and passion. Oh, what's up?
Peace and blessings. I'm out of here.
Oh yeah, see you, Chris. Feel better.
See ya. Thanks.
Have a good one.
I was ensnared by his talent and passion and a few honeyed words. I shouldn't have been surprised that our love wasn't to be an exclusive thing. That Earthshaker Argane went about ingratiating himself to my husband rather quickly. Enough to marry him, anyway. This place has plenty of ways to kill you, and love is all we have. I miss the days when it was just me and Jaspis on the road, but Argane's a healthy distraction for Jaspis. Well, anyway, back to business. I traced her path, but it was blocked by a magical flaming barrier of some sort. I heard Wagstaff is teaching her magic, but no way she could... Well, not by herself. Fire makes me think blood chanters. Maybe she liberated something from an old chorus rival, or she figured out a way to control an old wall's trap, but to my limited knowledge, those traps don't use fire, but some other sort of arcane energy. If you're short on ideas, you could always speak with the prisoner, tell Sophia. She sees everything from her perch, and most everyone talks to her at some point in the day, so maybe she's seen something or heard something that could point you in the right direction. How's the day treating you, Fatebinder? Trying to figure out how Insipid Moniker passes through a magic barrier in the old walls. Any ideas? Amazing what people will say about around the prisoner. I overheard her and Wagstaff whispering about that not too long ago. Insipid was bragging about some kind of control token which manipulates the barrier. She keeps it tucked away in a hole in the wall behind the chorus banner. That should give you a start. Away in a hole in the wall behind a chorus banner. Well, I see an interactable object on my map, so I'm assuming that's where it is. There it is. He's the talisman.
Easy peasy.
Lemon squeezy.
I've heard rumors of blood chanters doing this sort of torture, but you assume nobody could actually bring themselves. Oh.
The fetid stenches of blood and feces assault you as you step into the chamber. Excitement in her eyes, Insipid Moniker struts around the blood-caked room, issuing commands energetically. No, don't keep cutting that mongrel the same spot. The scars will get knotted and tough, and we'll lose a bleeding site. Put the bucket by his ribs and slice horizontally. He turns to you with momentary disbelief. Fuck, and this had been such a good day, too. Care to explain what's going on? You were meant to see this. We're collecting donations from these generous beastmen. Wagstaff needs beastman blood. Lots of it. You think these tainted waters cleanse themselves? He said we'd die without it, and I intend to deliver. Donations? These don't seem like willing volunteers. Yeah, well, maybe relying strictly on the charity of beasts wasn't enough anymore. Your solution was to create a blood farm? Were there no other options? You're a Fatebinder. I know you've seen and tolerated worse. We don't kill any of the creatures and gather only enough blood to keep the settlement going. I call that restraint on my part. If beastman blood donations worked in the past, what changed? Reef Talon used to heal her kith after they donated so they could give more at a time. Pretty much all she was good for. After she left, our beastmen couldn't donate as much without getting too weak to hunt. Our reserves ran low and Wagstaff needed more. That's where I came in. You to enjoy your work. The settlement would have run its course without me. No shame in taking a little pride in one's duty. As long as the good people down here get their water, they don't need to know what I'm doing to fill their bellies. Explain why I should allow this. No dancing around it. Someone's going to suffer, only a matter of whether it's men and women or beasts. No need for everyone to go down with the ship. I didn't build the ship, and I sure as fuck didn't choose to board her, but I'm here now, and I'm keeping her afloat, which is more than most can say. I don't want to kill you, but I can't let this atrocity continue. Make your choice, Fatebinder. We've already made ours. Enough of this. Just like the old times, boys. Whoever kills the Fatebinder gets a week of my water rations. Time for a good old-fashioned beatdown.
Yeehaw.
There's no way they're beating us.
The beastmen really seem like they're getting a raw deal on it.
Yeah, right? It's like, oh, we're basically sacrificing the beastmen so we can continue living here. It's like, why?
So much for a week of water.
Remove the bonds holding the wound can, yep.
I got it.
Oh, they just disappeared.
Sorry, you don't get the posse.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, that helmet.
So this is basically a really dystopian Red Cross.
Yeah, this specific thing, yeah.
Right, yeah, I mean just this particular arrangement.
Mm-hmm. got on? Oh, that's right. You have your helmet on that I can't get rid of. Ooh, Lantry. I'll probably give this to you. Looks very silly. Else looks good. All right, let's go. Go tell Wagstaff that we fucked his plans up. I'm sure he's gonna be happy.
So is everything you're doing basically doing this settlement or whatever?
Yeah, basically. I mean, technically they're going against the law anyway. The law of the overlord that I'm serving. So they should all just be put to death immediately. But, you know, like...
That seems fair.
We, not that intense. But it seems like no matter what, they're probably all gonna die. There you are. I assume Mel didn't convince all the wound to hang me? You did the best you could when given a terrible choice. The killings must stop and you may remain in the wound. Fatebinder, it's better than I deserve. I'll admit, sitting in this wretched pit gave me half a mind to let the Bane take me as punishment. But I'll not waste your leniency. There's plenty I can still do for the wound. Thanks for bringing some clarity to this. Jasper will have to find another way to get his beastman bones. It sure as Kairos won't be for me.
On it.
Alright. We're just disappointing both of the dudes here.
Excellent.
Ruining their plans left and right. What's this? Grave light. Fatebinder, I've been meaning to speak with you. I don't suppose you've seen insipid Monica, my rather foul-mouthed apprentice. She's missing. Any knowledge of her would be most welcome. She's dead. Dead, you maggot. How dare you? I see. At least you have the decency to tell me to my face. You've done enough. Leave. I wish to be alone with my grief. Okay. Yep, let's go, talk to Isley. Yeah, there's a lot of people in this game that are just like, ah, fuck the beastmen. And it's like, well, you know, they're kind of sentient. No, Fatebinder, sorry, I'm easily distracted these days, it seems. Anything in particular you'd like to discuss? I was able to follow insipid moniker. What did you learn? She had a beastman prison of sorts. Ace used to siphon blood from her captured victims. What, like a blood farm? She couldn't do that without Wagstaff's blessing. It's over. Insipid moniker is dead and the captive beastmen have been released. Thank you, Fatebinder. I can't believe one of our own would do this, even one as depraved as insipid moniker. And to think I almost didn't mention this to you. I've troubled you enough. Thank you again. Jasper, do you want to talk yet? Nope. Okay, well, neither of them like us, but we have the key to go down deeper, so might as well do it.
So what exactly is this area?
This is, so in the, if you look at the world map, if I can bring it up, if I remember where it is, there are these like walls that are built around this, this area in the south called the Tiers, and they like predate the Overlord, basically. But they're like these old arcane structures, and it's like illegal to go into them. When they first did the invasion of this place, I think it might have been during the initial invasion that this happened. That big dude that was made of stone, the big Archon that was trapped in the stone, they used him to basically like plow through the walls here, I believe. And so what happened here was, I think these people were like left behind or something. They took shelter here, pretty much, in this area in the old walls, which is illegal. But they also don't want to live under they basically just don't want to live under like the overlord's rule. And they're outlaws anyway, so they will die if they admit to where they've been. So this area itself is just a section of the old walls that they're living in.
And why will the settlement like die without the bones or the blood or whatever?
So the water here is like toxic. Or not toxic, but it's like magically bad. If you drink the water, you die. And so the two leaders here, Jaspis and Wagstaff, have each come up with individual parts of a way that purifies the water. Like Jaspis makes a sieve that strains the water, and then Wagstaff, I think, treats it with something, potentially. I think there's also there's an issue where they had a healer, a beast woman healer, who anybody she would heal would suddenly not be able to sleep anymore, and they would slowly basically turn into zombies. And Wagstaff helped not purify, but helped create an antidote for the folks who had that problem, who were sleepless, I think. And or no, I don't think that's the case. I think that it's just to treat the water. You have to mix there's something in the beastman blood that treats the water, or treats the people who have drank the bad water or something. Either way, water's toxic, so both of these guys have their thing that they do to keep it running, and neither of them like each other, but now they also don't like me.
And the beast people are there because they also want to be free or whatever.
The beast people, I think, were here originally. They weren't here originally. They're native to this place, this land, but they lived in the caves, and they kind of live all in this area. And I think they just kind of partnered up with the humans here to start a settlement.
This looks surprisingly well built for a random hole in the ground.
Well, it's because they're using the architecture of the old walls. All of this is
this is all part of the walls.
Yeah, this is all previously built. Crystallin's beacon appears to react to the presence of torch keys found in these old walls.
I got it.
Ooh, that means there's a torch key we can find here, and I think it's the one that we're missing. Why is there a dude in here? Alright, main character, I want you. Freeze the ground. And then we will start firing everybody. Get stunned or something?
I'm not entirely useless.
I'm enjoying this a little too much.
No, this can't be happening.
Set that guy on fire, and he started yelling.
On it.
I'll admit the yelling when they get set on fire is getting a little bit old, but I feel like it's a pretty reasonable reaction.
Yeah.
Dead yet? Anyone not armed to the teeth or bristling with magic survived down here.
I got it.
Sleepless. A bedraggled-looking man shivers near the edge of the overlook, clothes damp and stained with an inky black substance. He moans softly to himself and occasionally mutters a few words in a low, incomprehensible tone. Hey, can you hear me? I'm right behind you. He attempts to straighten his back, but it's unclear if the action is a response to the sound of your voice. The effort's too great. He hunches again, using his arms to help brace him against the floor. As his head sags forward, he continues to emit a low moan. You survived here for some time. Why did the Bane leave you alone? The man only trembles further in response. His dried and cracked hands paw at the ground around him, a sluggish and futile search of some sort. His soft grunts increasingly grow frustrated. After a few moments, he suddenly abandons the hunt. With head bent low and half-closed eyes, he resumes his quiet wail. You prod him with your finger, first gently, then insistently. His skin is unusually cold to the touch. Despite your persistence, you elicit little more than a grunt from the man. He shifts slightly, and you notice a strap wrapped around one of his legs. He's standing over a nearby ledge. Examine the strap. Peering over the edge, you notice a half-open satchel attached to the strap, dangling precariously above the ground. Within it, you spot the sharp features and the persistent soft glow and old wall's torch key. I'll take it. You carefully pull the satchel upward, preventing it from twisting unexpectedly. The dazed man beside you mumbles softly to himself. As you reach into the bag and pull the torch key out, his eyes catch sight of its glow. Between labored breaths, he manages a painful croak. Light, my light. In one smooth motion, you lift the crystal from the satchel and hide it from sight within the folds of your pack. With no light to draw his attention, the agitated man relaxes and returns to his foggy somnambulance. Cool.
Curious.
Well, we can't do anything from here, right? Yep, that's not the right one. But I can use it on this one. As you consider the distance between you and the old wall's mechanism, you feel a slight warmth emanate from the warden's key.
If this so-called warden's key actually works from a distance. Ooh, that rock channels the keystone's energy remotely? Let me try next.
Let's shoot a fireball.
You're definitely...
Love the boulder animation.
I'm enjoying this a bit too much.
I do like that Siren's singing happens like in the combat. It sounds like it goes with the background music too, which is pretty cool. I don't know how they manage that. It has to be a bitch to program. I've lost it. Gone, forever lost. I must be in the water. I should keep swimming, always upstream. As you step closer, he turns to face you and squints his eyes. You there, have you seen it? What are you looking for? His brow furrows as he confronts your question. I knew just a moment ago I lost something important. I did. I'm so tired. How long have I been? Bane are everywhere. How do you survive down here? Bane? His irises wandered to the corner of his eyes, as if doing so would reveal creatures hidden beside him. Oh, they don't pay us any mind, not anymore. Lullaby tells them no. Lullaby protects. You don't seem well. He blinks at you without comprehension. I'm awake, aren't I? This isn't a dream? He reaches out and grasps your shoulder loosely, then firmly. My thoughts come and go, and I sometimes can't tell if I still live. He pats himself on the cheek several times, each with increasing intensity. I'm here, I'm still here. I'm one of the afflicted, the sleepless. This is what they call... I think that's what they call us. It was Reef Talon. Her touch healed me, stopped the blood from spilling out. He runs his hand along a vicious-looking scar bisecting his chest. She took something in exchange. I'm alive enough to know I'm a hollow. He stops and scrutinizes his hands. Hollow. As he raises his head, his eyes show no sign of recognition. Have you seen it? I've lost something. Who or what's Lullaby? She watches from the deep dark. Her song is sweet and makes all the evil people go to sleep. Lullaby protects. Lullaby protects. Sounds like they have their own little grave in ash. How quaint. I'll be going. I could kill all these sleepless, but what if we find a way to fix them? Ooh, yeah. Eb, you're not doing so hot.
We make this look easy.
Main character, why don't you throw down your Undying banner? You can do it in time. Nope, you didn't. Okay, well, bring it back to life. Did I just get launched up into the air?
They
Neat.
just did 109 damage to you.
Is that to me?
That's what it says in the bottom.
Yeah, that's it. I just got knocked straight up into the air somehow. Okay. Well, I'm immune to being prone from that cat, so kind of good. But I'm gonna take like a. Actually, I'm gonna use my Chaos Blast.
It just seems so weird. You have like a cat on your shoulder throughout all this combat.
Right. Oh wait, everybody's dead. The Abyss Keystone.
Yes.
Okay, could go to the Abyss there, or I could continue this way. Let's keep going this way. I'm sure I'll get to the point where I can't do anything anymore, and I'll go back.
See that?
Seems reasonable.
Of course.
There we go.
I've
Not the
got
right
it.
one. Not the right one?
Sorry, can't.
If that's the case, then looks like we just gotta go to the Abyss.
Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe get another little Keystone Light. Yep, that doesn't work. Skirmisher, we've come a long way. Oh, this is Skirmisher. We've come a long way to find you. Shouting at the beast, luring in the alcove above, the man beckons to her with a wicked smile. Why don't you save us all the trouble and come down here? His companions shift nervously, hands upon the hilts of their weapons. The massive beast woman rises from her haunches, revealing an intricate array of painted symbols that race busily across her entire body. Can smell desire for blood on human's breath, can see intent in deceitful eyes. Scamper, run, flee now before a reef talon separates flesh from bone. We only want what's best for the wound. Jaspis has a plan to help everyone, but he needs your help. Come, let's talk this over like civilized folk. No need to leave now while hunters have legs. See sleepless in old walls? Hushed ones step and stumble, hearts beating without purpose. Go now. Avoid same dreamless fate. Return to... She cuts herself off, sniffing the air intently. She drops down on all fours, eyes snapping in her direction. The Fate Binder. Reef talon can wait.
Another battle.
Alright. You know we're gonna ice everybody. Eb, you need to... Here, why don't you... Grave Strike. And then... Wait, do you not have... I thought you had the... Yeah, the Alchemist Gloves. Why can't I use you? That's weird. I have the gloves
What
on,
you
but I
would
can't.
expect it to be able to do.
There's like a orb of life I should be able to use because I have these gloves on, these alchemist gloves. This right here. Launch an orb of healing enemy at a location. On impact, the orb creates a zone of restorative energy that will periodically heal any party member within the area. Like I should be able to do that, but it does not look like that's the case. On user crits. Maybe I just need to unequip it and re-equip it, but that kind of sucks. Alright, Lantry, can you heal? No, do you not have any healing? Siren, do you have any healing? Yeah, can you heal Ebb? That did kill you, though. Oh, and you leveled up. You... Jesus Christ. These guys from afar are just ripping and tearing. Lantry, can you stop putting people right next to us to sleep and deal with the people in the back? What are you doing?
No, that seems fine.
And he's just like, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna put the melee people who aren't a problem. I'm not gonna do anything to them. I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna make them the, you know,
I know what you mean.
whatever the words are. These guys in the background are just whittling us down.
It's kind of ridiculous.
Right.
Considering that they speak with such a low voice, the screaming is very high pitched.
Right.
But I assume they didn't want to pay that many people to, you know, record somebody screaming.
Yeah. My guess too. There we go.
At least we're not the only ones chasing beastmen through the dark.
Got another Abyss Keystone. Cool, we leveled up. Let's get a little more accuracy. And then instead of that, give better energy shield or add better energy shield. I don't really use my melee attacks often enough to for it to really matter.
Beacons to fiddle with. With which to fiddle? Seriously, Lantry, sober up.
I really appreciate Lantry.
Yeah, I like Lantry.
Do you want to attack the beast woman?
I can't. No, will not perform mending rites again. Hunter's lifeblood must flow. Quick, away from Reef Talon's touch. She snaps her head towards you, a low rumble emanating from the back of her throat. They called human Fatebinder. Well, what does Fatebinder want? Wagstaff asked me to find you. We didn't know if you were still alive. Still lives, yes, but does not deserve life. Has abandoned cubs and wound. Now only mothered is sleepless. Beast woman's new brood clings to life, but knows not why. Dreamless, visionless, purposeless, like Reef Talon now. She growls and leaps backwards, continuing to eye you with suspicion. Wagstaff sends Fatebinder for what? To silence Reef Talon? Fatebinder must come as Wagstaff's bulwark, as enforcer. She slashes the stone floor, sending chunks of the masonry tumbling down towards you. Go back to Wound, to safe lands above. Leave Reef Talon to the pit. Leave with Scourge and Sleepless. She pauses along the floor and turns her back to you, bounding off into the darkness.
If you click on that thing in the middle of all of the three.
Hold on. I can't click on it right yet.
Ah, okay.
Well, like, what did that do? Did I just find the missing torch keys? I just don't know where those would be. I go back to Darkened Hollow. This doesn't take me to someplace different, does it? Takes me to the beginning of Darkened Hollow. Yeah.
I'll just hold on to this.
There we go. Now I have the artifact ability back.
Just turn it off and on again.
Basically.
I'm on it.
On it. On it.
Maybe there's something I can affect from a distance. Didn't do anything. And this didn't do anything either, right? Yeah. I know I can control those things from a distance, like the buttons, but where are the buttons at? That didn't do anything. Like there should be something up here, but can't get there either. Over here, there's not really a place to go. And this didn't do anything. Maybe there's a button to press in here that I didn't see.
There's like a whole bunch of them in the floor. Sometimes they're kind of hard to see.
Yeah, there's like a whole bunch of insets that look like they should be buttons. Like that
Can't do that.
looks like it should be a button, but it's not.
Well, but it's like, it almost looks like it's a button you can't press.
Yeah, it could be. Like maybe there's just ooh.
Can't.
Maybe that? That's it. Cool.
Can't do that.
Nice.
On it.
Where does this go? Ooh, this rune shimmers in front of the wall, sustained by unknown magic. What is it? Bounding Bolts 3. Hell yeah. Good stuff.
This is fun.
Good lord. Lantry, drink a potion. Can you put that guy to sleep? He's immune to his sleep. Oh, because he's sleepless, huh? That makes sense. That checks out. They did the math. Alright. Main character, why don't you throw out that
That's a good
orb?
subreddit.
Yeah, right. They did the shitty math is even better. Main character, can you... Yeah. Healing orb. And now, let us... Icicle Storm. Rock. Always amuses me. Take that. Can't loot
Can't do
that.
Paintings in this Cairo's forsaken place. Either my eyes are deceiving me, or we've discovered a real piece of history.
The mural before you depicts two beastmen-like figures rising from the floor, larger than life in stature and presence. They both carry upon their backs massive rectangular tower-like structures. Between the columns are what looks like corridors for the old walls, twisting and turning at right angles. Strewn throughout the corridors are dashes of colors, blues, whites, and purples, twisting in spirals reminiscent of the Bane. Though crafted with primitive pigments, their mural is festooned with small details. Further examination will likely glean additional information. Examine the beastmen. The two figures depicted on either side of the structure are drawn in remarkable detail. Their proportions and anatomy seem nearly identical to beastmen. The two have expressive faces. The right-hand beast is anxious and worried, and the left-hand beast appears salivating for a fight. Both forms appear to be bracing against the structure, and taken as a pair, their postures suggest they are holding up or supporting the structure between them. Beastmen literally supporting the old walls on their back. I think we can conclude that even ancient cultures have a sense of the melodramatic. I don't think that all of this imagery was made by a single artist, or even that they were working towards the same goal at the time. The tone sounds too muddled. Sandstone-colored borders define the edges of the structures supported by the beastmen. The cross-section reminds you of vertical maps drawn of the old walls. A confusing series of connected corridors and passageways rises from floor to ceiling, all of it saturated with cloudy streaks of blue, red, and purple. You can't help but notice the swirling colors of the shapes in the cross-section are also seen painted throughout the two beastmen, suggesting Bane, or the tattoos of such creatures running down their limbs. The color choice and claws mean only one thing, Bane, but I'm guessing you found that conclusion already. The mural is complicated and layered, but is likely received as comprehensive an examination as possible for the moment. Whoever painted this mural seems to suggest that the beastmen support the old walls, or maybe contain the Bane? What do you think it's trying to say? I think it's showing a mystical link between beastmen and Bane, old walls and spire. It's all connected. I notice the same colors used on the Bane are written on the old walls and then the beastmen. Maybe that's to show their common magic source, as you posit. Satisfied with your investigation, you step away from the mural and leave its nuance for the next traveler to ponder. Leave the mural behind and return to your exploration in the old walls. Gonna camp. Get my thing back.
Sorry, can't.
Good thing you rested.
Right? See, told you the Fate Binder would come to us. She dusts off her hands and places them on her hips, taking a deep, satisfied breath. Jaspis sends his regards. Seeing as you're here, you may have killed the others. Now it's a matter of vengeance. Step aside. Is it really how you want to die? Come now, warriors like you and I are made for action. Enough talk, let's dance. Well, let's freeze everybody. First off, Lantry, I want you to sleep. These folks in the back, they're not sleepless. Lantry, stop moving. What are you doing? There we go.
Classic Lantry.
There we go. Perfect. Now we can get down to business. Who's not doing well? Eb, I need to give you some potions, Eb.
What about that new orb thing you got?
Yeah, it can only use it once per rest, so. Oh, they're dying, Chris. Don't even worry. Chris is in the Twitch chat. Just kind of wish that I could like tell my main character to never actually use his weapon unless I want him to. Like the opposite of by default auto attack. By default, use all of your magic, and then if all else fails, auto attack. We got the darkened hollow keystone.
Will do.
Put it back. Oh no. Okay. What do we got? That's not on cooldown. Rhyme spike. We'll use it. Eb, can you get in front? Lantry, can you get behind? Oh god. The icicle storm? Yeah, I'll use icicle storm.
Sorry.
That guy slip. I really enjoy the bouncing spells. I haven't used a lightning spell in a while.
Watch and learn.
Yeah, I want to take a potion. Hit yourself. Fireball that last guy.
Swimming vein.
They're just AoEs. What about the boulder?
Will do.
Oh, cool. Nice. Okay, yeah, I get it. We drain the water. Bane gonna come out of that? Yep.
Another ring of tyrannis.
Good stuff. Nice. What we got in there? Nothing important.
Sorry, can't.
Yeah, come have a look at this.
Good money. What is this formation? Lantry, why are you in the front?
Heads up, we have
Eb, don't you have something that makes that the Bane doesn't like? No, maybe not. Regardless, why don't we use
Not a problem.
that? Let's see what do we got here. Rhyme spike, yeah. Always does big damage. Why don't you switch over to your sorting board?
Not a problem.
No,
Will do.
stop. Character, I really don't care about what you're doing right now.
I'll omit that from the record.
Why don't you switch back to that so that you can use the thing that I told you to use? No, already activated. Can't use it.
Wait, I did that? Nice!
Rest some to get back our
Can't do that.
daily things.
On it.
Can't quite reach over there.
Yeah, come have a look at this.
Seems like some Bane are gonna come out of this. Probably after I take. Yeah, right after I take that. These are pretty weak Bane though. There wasn't a torch key in that though. Oh, there was. Yep.
Another battle.
Now you.
Think we're bad, honey.
Focus on the guy in the back. Cool. Back at the beginning. Let's go to the teleporter that was right here. I think there was also another thing that we can hit with the torch key. Green one that we got. Right up here. Ah, two things. I don't think we're supposed to be able to see that one though. Yeah, it doesn't like it. Ooh. No, neither? Okay. Back we go. Green? Hmm. Back up. Little icicle storm. Rhyme spike, the one in front of us. Fireball, the one in front of us. Flash fire to hit both of them.
Dodging is so unfair. I'm terrible at this. How am I not dead?
There we go. Nope, you want green.
I got it.
Nice. Where does this go to?
Yeah, come have a look at this.
Ooh, another mural.
Yes.
This is gonna be a fight. Lantry, why don't you just
This is fun.
sleep some folks? Why don't you ice them? Alright, they're sleepless. Why don't you drop down the banner? It seems like this is going to be a fight to do that. Now stop being frightened. There you go. And the Phantom Bolt over there. Got a little too close to the bottom of the screen there. There we go. That wasn't too bad. Pristine, meticulously ordered stretch of old walls masonry is dramatically interrupted by an intricate mural painted across a brick wall with primitive pigments. A crude maze of orderly tunnels and simple right angles is depicted, and small, indistinctly drawn humanoid figures populate its varied and winding corridors. In the gloom, it's difficult to make out the precise details at the top of the mural, which stretches even above a beast woman's height. Perhaps you're too sober to see it, but one could see this as a cross-section of the old walls. More artistic image than map, but it seemed probable. There is a plethora of detail packed into the art on these walls. A more thorough examination will likely produce additional information. Look at the upper section. The upper reaches of the painting aren't well illuminated by the otherworldly lights in the chamber. You'll have to find a way to gain some elevation to make out its details. Stand atop a companion's shoulders. A few awkward moments later, you find yourself standing atop your ally's shoulders, one hand placed against the cold brickwork for balance. With the extra height, you're able to examine things more closely. Now, at the top, you can clearly see a large break at the top of the depicted maze. A plethora of humanoid figures swarm the top, with a few trickling down to the maze below. These humanoid shapes come in a variety of sizes and colors, though some noticeably larger than others. The details on these figures are difficult to decipher, though you're able to spot some sharp talons and a few that appear to have tail, horns, or some other extra appendage. As you begin your slow descent to the chamber floor, you explain the details to your followers. So people enter this maze from the top. Perhaps the spire is how people came to the old walls? I mean, your spire is capable of teleporting. What's to stop it from porting someone downwards? Observe the mural's main section. The corridors and passageways depicted in the midsection are filled with humanoid figures. While chipped paint and weathering causes some superficial differences, the figures appear otherwise uniform in shape, size, and color. The figures high atop the mural appear of different styles and colors, but you'll need to move in for a closer look to glean subtleties. One doesn't paint an ode to imprisonment on the first day in a cage, right? How many generations were down here trapped in this maze? Look in the mural's lower section. Along the lower edge of the mural, on what would amount to the floor or bottom of the maze, you spot traces of faded paint not visible from a distance. Tiny bone-white hashes of skulls and skeletons are intermixed with the masonry at the bottom of the cage. A chilling detail, but this is to imply the dead were buried down below, or down below was built with the bones of the dead. I doubt it's that literal. The mural is complicated and layered, but has likely received as comprehensive an examination as possible for the moment. This mural suggests old walls that was once full of life, but clearly the present contradicts this. What do you think that is? Or what do you think this is saying? The old wall inhabitants were slowly delving deeper and deeper, and now there's some sort of doom. The mural is oddly devoid of Bane, perhaps it's hinting at what triggered their arrival. I can't deny the possibility, though I imagine we'd see a little Bane imagery if this were a creation story. Satisfied with your investigation, you step away from the mural and leave its nuance for the next traveler to ponder. And this is like the top right of the area, right? Yeah. Can't quite get that from here. Ah, yeah. I remember this place. Now we know why all those buttons, like button insets, were there.
Yep.
Curious.
Oh, a bunch of stuff in here. Oh. Quick saved and my camera went all the way up. You, why don't you do Rhyme Spike? Always really good. Fireball. I just kill the guys in front of you.
On it.
Oh, nice. I'd level up. Bounding bolts. Alright, Ebb. Why don't we give you some more... We're going to keep having you be in the front. Kind of want to give you more accuracy, probably. Mother's Embrace. Once per encounter when Ebb's health is critical, she triggers a nova repelling waters to search outwards around her, pushing foes back. That seems pretty useful. Especially if we're going to have her be in the middle of everything. Leica, can you hear me? Has your mind wandered again? A haggard-looking man pleads with the emaciated woman resting against the ground. Her shaky head moves in the general direction of his voice. She mouths a reply and reaches toward the glowing crystal in his hands, but no air escapes her lips. As you approach, he wraps what remains of a tattered cloak tightly across his shoulders and takes a clumsy half-step backwards. Are you a real stranger or another figment come to haunt us? What happened to your friend? You're amongst the sleepless. I still know that much. Soon I'll be like her. Too tired to ever remember who I am. Who you are, either. His eyes glaze over as he speaks and he drops to a knee. Not yet, not yet. With a shake of his head, he staggers back to his feet. All we want is to find the beast woman that did this. It hurts to be too far from her. I'm looking for Reef Talon too. If you give me the torch key, I can open the path to her. He glances at you, then at the crystal, then at you again. Perhaps that's best. He reluctantly drops a stone into your hands. It feels like a lifetime since we've seen Reef Talon. Please find her. This emptiness is somehow more bearable when she's near. I just hope I remember to follow you. Cool. Drop.
See that?
It's you. An icicle storm.
Heads up.
And you're in a fireball. And then you're gonna rhyme spike. Looking good. Still singing. Now you, what do you want? Yellow? Yes. Good. Good. You want yellow or green? I'm thinking yellow. Where's the button? Oh, there's the button. Looks good. I'm actually going to go back here really quickly. I'm going to take the yellow back to the other one that I couldn't activate. That was back in here. I think my character got stuck.
A little bit of dirt.
Some pathing. Difficult to get right. Understandably.
That is some aggressive water.
Right.
Ooh, that rock channels the keystone's energy remotely? Let me try next.
You already said that, Siren. You can't have it. Only adults can have the keystone.
It's not a toy.
You have to be 21 or older to drink keystone.
Heads up, we have company.
Alright, main character, why don't you do that, and then Lantry, since you're out in the front, why don't you sleep everybody? I know they're sleepless, but you can at least get some of the folks. You... Why don't you Wave of Despair them? Now, character, do what you do best and hit everybody at once. Except for that guy that ran behind you for some reason. They really don't like being set on fire. I can't imagine why. They get real noisy. Lantry, you're not doing too hot. Main character, can you not take a swing, and can you What was happening there? Why couldn't you heal him? Why can you not heal Lantry? You just not want to? Drop the banner. Super useful.
Oh, if I had an iron ring for every dumbass snake alive.
At least Lantry got to level up. I think he's been one of the slowest to level people. Alright. We want to give you accuracy. Preservation seal seems pretty good. Do that.
Right.
Petrified Grandstaff. Good sell. A gaunt, bewildered-looking woman stands precariously against the edge of the cracked platform. She rubs her bleary eyes impatiently and glances in varied directions with a befuddled expression. Where was I supposed to go? She turns rapidly in direction. Hello, do you know the way through here? Careful, it's a long drop. Yes, of course it is. I'm not some child about to tumble over the breeze. She shuffles slightly as she speaks, brushing loose stone into the chasm below. I just need to find the way through, obviously. You lost? Clearly, I think. I came in from a teleporter nearby, but I can't remember the way forward. She points into the yawning chasm at her feet. I feel like I need to head downward. It somehow feels right. Her eyes shut tightly as she engulfed by a massive yawn. Need to find my way down, and I'm sure I'll be able to rest. Is the teleporter still working? Which teleporter? That teleporter? No, don't be silly. I took the stone that operates it, so how could it be on? And here I was worried I'd lost my mind. I need that keystone. She presses a small pouch close to her chest. What if the way I need to go back is through the teleporter? I don't know the way down. It could be in any direction. There are some stairs to the west. That might be what you're looking for. There are? Yes, that must be it. I need to head downward. Climbing certainly won't work. Thank you, stranger. I won't be needing this. Safeguard it for me. She reaches into a warm pouch and produces a keystone, dropping it in your hands. I'll just rest here a moment before moving on.
Let me show you.
Yeah, we're not going to kill them. Ooh, that looks like another sigil. We got sigil of precise action. Even more accuracy.
Will do.
Ooh.
It has 5 accuracy.
Oh, whoops. We should disarm that. My thing didn't pause. Usually it pauses when I see a trap. I think I have it set to do that. Cool. There's a teleporter set up. Now there's something over here that I needed to do. What the hell?
That's one way to disarm it.
Alright, it just walks right into it. It works. Okay. I think that's everything in this area.
What is that glowing thing by the rubble?
Oh, that's a thing. Like a thing that I found. It's a container.
Ah, I gotcha.
Cool. Back to the darkened hollow to go down those steps I just created. I'm pretty sure that was the only thing remaining in that area that I could see anyway. Cool. Now we go down. That door is open. Ancient old walls parchment. You discovered this ancient parchment deep within the bastard's wound. Old walls can't decipher the notation printed on it. A recruited researcher might help you determine its origins and meaning. As you raise the dry, cracked parchment from its container, Siren cranes her neck to examine what you've uncovered. Oh, you found some kind of... Is that writing? It looks kind of weird. Show it to her. Is it weird? Care to see? Of course, I was starting to wonder when you'd ask. Takes the paper, cradling it carefully in her thin fingers. Wow, it's pretty. Almost like poetry. Very repetitive poetry. See how these symbols get repeated constantly? She shrugs, passing the parchment back. It feels familiar, but I can't tell you why. Maybe you should find someone more accustomed to reading crusty old papers to study it. Peering over Siren's shoulder, Lantry stares at the paper with a sigh. That's my cue to confess my ignorance. I'm not familiar with this particular script. Perhaps we'll stumble upon a reference piece in our travels or meet someone who knows this writing. I know what that is.
Sorry, can't.
Oh, I thought that was going to be an arrow trap. Maybe I don't know what that is. That. Oh. Got another one. This should be enlightening. Landry smiles victoriously as he hefts a weighty parchment tome. Festivities of the Tears, subtle. A survey of social days. Or subtitle, a survey of social days. I don't know about you, but I'm excited already. Drafting of the field stories, some rather ribald marriage bed anecdotes, a study of regional variations and tidal retreat celebrations, and more tournament reports than one might ever wish to read. All very fascinating to a historian like me, but I'm sure this is a little interest to you. We can move on. Maybe it's worth reading a bit more. Yes, well, with a hoarse grumble, Landry flips the earlier in the tome and begins paging through in a more measured pace. Old man scours the pages, his eyes darting about the text with zeal. These pages are missing, but not like I expected these would all be pristine. It's pages of Tearsman cultural studies. Doubt you find any of this intriguing. I take a look? But of course. Hands you the heavy tome, and you begin to flip through the pages, your eyes scanning along page after page of flowing text, most of it in changing inks and handwriting styles. The tome is as Landry described, filled to the brim with stories of feasts and festivals, including such details as guests in attendance and wine served. Each turn of the page reveals more and more notes on celebrations and festivals, major and minor. Your head swims with the names and dates of countless past festivities until at last you arrive at the end cover, your eyes heavy from skimming uneven writing. I'm weak on my Tearsman scripts, but this passage says Festival of Narat. Odd, right? Narat? What? Hand me that. Landry tugs the tome from your grasp and furiously skims the pages in question. Festival of Narat? Since when was... Oh, since 419. Since 419? Well, why is this the first I'm hearing of this Tears-wide celebration? He flips through the remaining pages, his eyes rapidly scanning the text with a series of grimaces and grumbles. Festival of Narat 10 years before the conquest seems unlikely. Unlikely? Pardon my ardent speak, but it's fucking absurd. Not least of all, because when the chorus entered the Tears in 427, it consisted entirely of northerners. Tearsmen weren't recruited until the gangs began conquering. That's basically Narat's whole modus operandi. Crack them on the head and drag them away. Also, it seems like the more someone knows of Narat, the less likely they can resist my suggestions to join its army. Part of why my recruitment efforts were so successful early on is that few knew I was forcing them to follow a true monster. This isn't accurate. Why would someone... I think the why is obvious. This creates a pretense that Tearsmen have been worshipping or loyal to the Archon of Secrets voluntarily before the war. Purpose. The only purpose the Chronicle serves is the retelling of it all. It's a cardinal sin of our craft to modify the telling regardless of its purpose. It seems obvious that Lexim wanted me to find a record of the sages and Tearsmen accepting the chorus, and by extension Kairos. There might be some truth to that. Landry's gaze falls to the ground and a soft sigh escapes his lips. I have a feeling there's even more errors hiding in these texts, but I can peruse these pages another time. No doubt there's still more to be found down here. Lead the way. Hope I didn't miss any. I forgot that we were actually looking for those.
This will be fun.
Nice. Easy enough. Well, now we have the 3 keys. So we can teleport to, what was it, the Abyss? I can't remember. I think that there was a way other than lighting the torches. Maybe down? Did I get to the end of it? I may have gotten to the end of it. Ah, no, there's something right here. Crystal in the beacon is not responding to torch keys from these old walls. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of... This is the exact thing that was in the other one. The other old walls. There's another torch that I'm supposed to find. Kind of lame. Not in these either.
wonder if these respond differently to the different keys that you found.
Maybe. That wasn't the case in the other old walls I was in, but I could change it. I think this I need to just light it with each of the things. Go forward. I still need to find whatever torch key goes to this thing, because it's the same symbol in the other section of the old walls. What? No, it was 4 days ago. 8? That's absurd. Arguing with a perceived interlocutor, or perhaps herself, the old sage mutters with her attention jumping from left hand to right as she banters. Then we should retrace our steps. As you approach, the sage turns towards you, her face a calm and tranquil smile. Oh, darling, having trouble sleeping too? It really is you. At first I didn't want to believe, but then, eyes wide with surprise, Lantry ambles forward, seemingly uncertain of what he's experiencing. That voice. Lexine looks around, her glance darting in every direction but Lantry's. Mel, what happened to you? How long has it been? Your youth, where'd it go? You're supposed to outlive me, not the other way around. No, not Mel. Lantry's eyes fall to the ground, his face washed in defeat. It's me, Lantry. Don't you remember? Remain silent. Think back to the Citadel. Study nights, the time we found those berries. Do I have to... Clearing his throat, Lantry steps in close to Lexine and places his hand on her hip and gently kisses her forehead. Certainly that must spark something. He steps back, trembling, though she seems unmoved by the experience. The sage rubs her temple with a pained smile. Sorry, my mind feels all fog, no lightning. It's all in here, just tired of being tired. All I need is a little sleep, a little shut-eye, and it'll all make sense. Step back and let Lantry talk to her. Lexine, it's me, Lantry. He steps forward and reaches his hand out to touch Lexine. Oh, it is you. The old woman's face slackens. Her eyes blink as tears begin to form around her eyes. I thought you were just... She grabs her hand and presses it to her cheek. A delusion. I have so many these days, and many of them are you. I thought you were dead. When the fate binder said a missive came in from a sage L, I didn't believe it was you. I didn't want to tease myself with the hope. How did you escape? Who was with you? I have so many questions, but I really need to know how to get you out of here, how to make you better. Underway moment, give him some privacy. Giving the two sages some privacy, you step away and walk a short distance back the way you came. After a few minutes, you wander back to find two sages step away from an embrace, both red-faced and disheveled with emotion. You catch only the tail end of their conversation. But apologies I'll have to show for myself. If only we'd listened to you, this might have been averted. Ah, Fatebinder, thank you for giving us a moment. Lantry and I have not seen each other for quite some time. Knowing he's alive is of great comfort. Seeing him in the flesh is a waking dream come true. I believe you contacted me regarding a legal matter. Legal matter? If you're asking about laws, you... Wait, that sounds familiar. Did I... Oh my, I'd given up hope and almost forgotten I'd ever sent word. Look for recollection spread across her face, and Lexine examines you from head to toe. In Kairos you found me. Apologies you should meet me now, and my mind is a fleeting shadow of what it once was. Fatebinder, my offer is a simple one. I will submit to your justice and confess to every crime of my school. In exchange, I ask that you preserve my writings. I have seen centuries of work burn away in hours. Please, let me save something, some small sliver. I'll purchase it with my life. If I were to help, what exactly would you want of me? I understand your caution. If these were truly offensive scripts that railed against Kairos, I would understand you being unwilling to assist in the preservation of such slander. I've read what I can of Kairos' laws, and I know that much of what we write speaks of how the Tiers was free of Kairos' grip. I know such histories are to be put to the torch, but I contend these writings will only bring glory to Kairos. Our histories show the Tiersmen growing in hubris, unable to see the doom of Kairos to the north. These are not heresies, they are studies in the foolishness of seeing oneself as equal to or greater than Kairos. You're turning the history of the Tiers into a warning against defying Kairos? Actually, it pretty much writes itself. These laws have a purpose. Children might read such things feeling that rebellion against Kairos is warranted and improbable, and so the conversation's a year too late. Sages have the chance to surrender and negotiate terms. Seek to fire Kairos' final offer. No need to praise Kairos in front of me. You want to bring glory to Kairos? Explain yourself. The chronicles we've kept detail a society that exists in the shadow of Kairos and ultimately fell after a long lull of complacent living. I contend that such a history speaks of Kairos' inevitability and the folly of the Tiersmen. How do I know I'm salvaging some journals, not a bunch of coded messages for your peers? I'd invite you to read these chronicles yourself. Look them over and decide for yourself if I'm up to something. But I assure you, I wouldn't try something that underhanded. I'm not that stupid. I'm not that smart. So what does he want from me? Swear by Kairos' name that you will gather and preserve my chronicles to the best of your ability. Do that and I care not what you do with me. If our works are protected, you grant a measure of immortality to me and the other chroniclers. If my life can purchase that, I'll happily pay the price. Explain exactly what you want of me before I make any promises. My request is that you gather and safeguard the chronicle fragments I've stashed here in the old walls. Once gathered, you do all that you can to make sure these texts are spared from destruction. So be it. I swear by Kairos to gather and preserve chronicles. So be it. I swear by Kairos together. I'll help you, but I won't swear on Kairos' name. I have no love of the Overlord, no love for pretending to be to the contrary. Those low to Kairos take those quite seriously, am I not mistaken? I must have your assurance the task will be done. So be it. I swear to Kairos to gather and preserve your chronicles. You honor us all, good fate binder. Lexine bows deeply, dipping forward until her legs begin to stumble. Here, take this. The sage dusts a crumpled parchment in your hand. Notes on where I'd left the remaining texts. My handwriting was difficult to parse even when I had my mind intact. It's gotten worse. I've used an old chronicler trick to conceal the stashes as ordinary rubble. The illusions will fade if another chronicler nears. Yours is an older specimen, but he'll suffice. Older specimen, but I popularized the rubble in plain sight trick. Nerve of this woman. If you need hand translating, ask Lantry. He always had a knack for deciphering my scroll. I have some other questions. Perhaps I can help? Have you seen a beast woman named Reef Talon? That name, yes, Reef Talon. She's lurking down here, same as I. You look like you've known the caress of sleep. Why then do you seek Reef Talon? Reef Talon can still be of use to the people of Bastard's Wound. Well, I can tell you that she lurks these depths along with the sleepless she has created. The sage falls silent, rocking back and forth before returning to the present. Tell me, do you intend to harm Reef Talon? Only if she harms me. As someone who has been harmed as one can be harmed by Reef Talon, I know she does not intentionally disfigure us. She's guilty of not knowing the strength of her fledgling magic, but ignorance is not maliciousness. Come, let me take you to her. Wait, is that the key that I need? Because that symbol looks suspicious.
Yes.
Making sure I can't do anything else with it. Oh. What's that? Wake up, fresh meat. Lexine roars with the massive habit covering the center of the room. Every hair on your body stands on end as the room swells with the static charge. Small bits of debris orbit the havoc as its tendrils twitch and flick. Talking to this thing like it's your friend. Well, of course, Lullaby never harms those of us robbed of sleep. Only the arrogant and the wicked need fear its embrace. I'm not hallucinating. She has truly lost her mind. Lantry shakes his head, eyes wide with disbelief. This is a nightmare. Why wouldn't Kairos' name would you keep a havoc, let alone name it? It'd be ridiculous. Lullaby isn't a kept pet, it's our keeper, naturally. She shakes her head as if the aforementioned detail was obvious. Submit and this will be swift, or resist and make things interesting, however you like it. Lexine claps her hands, roaring gibberish at the massive havoc as it begins to stir. Now it's a boss fight.
Sure looks that way.
Not many of these.
This will be
Lantry. Okay, you already tried to put it to sleep.
Await my signal.
What else should we do? Use all my combo abilities, why not? Might as well use some artifact abilities too. What else do we got? I think he isn't putting up much of a fight. I think he's trying to summon reinforcements, but we might be interrupting it. Happening. Combat start? Why did combat start? Did it end for a second? There we go. Siren, why did you run in the middle of it? For what purpose? Oh, that's a lot of people. All right, let's group up in the middle. Why don't you make it cold? Siren, why don't you... Wait, what? You... Something wrong with you? Why are you... useless? Okay, whatever. Let's put down a... Actually, let's use that. I'll put down a banner. Nice, nice. Landry's low health? Yeah, I know that. Make a potion. Landry, you put that guy to sleep. If you can be. Not, I'll deal with him in a second. Yep, immune to sleep.
Why would they defend it? Oh, their minds must be truly far gone.
Oh, you're still alive? That wasn't part of the plan. Deprivation, immunity to a sleep. Plus 25% damage, causes a wound when reaching below certain amounts of health. Interesting.
Right.
You survived. I didn't expect. You willingly led me into a trap. Explain yourself. I apologize. Many have come here looking to harm us. A Reef Talon. The Bane doesn't seem to harm us Sleepless, and I had to protect the Reef Talon and the other Sleepless, and yet I'm no match for you, and so my best choice seemed what it was unforgivable. Take me to Reef Talon now. No, so long as I can for a cogent thought, I will protect her. Lead me to her and she lives. If I find her of my own accord, she dies. No, please, I wish no harm to come of her. Show her mercy and I will relent. She's in a chamber to the east. You'll need this. With a trembling hand, she places a torch key in your hand. Guessing I can't go through any of these. I wonder if I can... Right. I wonder if I can use the torch key on this thing.
Did you get those chests?
Yeah, I got them previously. They're gray, so I already got them. But I'll check again when I get back over there. Okay. What torch key? Alright, Siren leveled up. More quickness. Moderately increase the damage prevented by Siren's resonant field. Let's do that. Landry, I have a lot more spell slots than I thought you would. Why don't we give you some useful healing spells, since that's what you're good for.
I think I'm probably gonna sign off.
Alright. Good talking to you, Ari. Good to have you here. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, likewise.
Always appreciate it.
Good one. Yeah. Take care.
Yeah, have a good one. See ya. think that I'm gonna make a fireball spell. Not a fireball, lightning spell for my main dude. Make it bounce off people, maybe? A lot of people. Recover quickly. Have the range be decent. Anything else I really add to it? I like the extra volleys, but that means I have to get rid of something else. Maybe the bouncing. It's a pretty hefty cost for bounce. Maybe the recharge too. $203. When did my lore go down? I just buffed previously. Barely too low. I guess we'll make it not bounce so much right there. Good. We'll do that instead of flash fire. Can't access that? Okay. And what is up here? Another one, but you seem so well rested. You'll adapt in time. She stares at you in wide-eyed silence. What are you doing here? Do you also hear the call? We seek Reef Talon. She does not wish to be sought. Can you tell me about Lexime? Lexime, that name is something from an old dream? Okay. Crap.
What do we have here? And hold a moment.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
See that?
See that?
I don't know what this buff is, but... Oh wow, that's from the other dungeon. I believe. A Peridot? Peridot? It's pretty lame.
Heads up, scout. Take that. I got it.
Let's use my new lightning spell.
Will do. Every day. I got it. Curious.
What is it? Just some Peridot? Peridot? I'm all the way here? I was thinking I was in for a treat. There's Reef Talon. Oh, what's good, Reef Talon? How's it going? The beast woman waits by the dust-caked altar, head bent downward in contemplation. A deep gravelly rumble emanates from her chest as you cross the chamber's threshold. With a loud chuff, she turns to face you. A fierce pair of ice-blue eyes watch you with murderous intensity. Stalkers and hunters, bane and mystics, all come to spill Reef Talon's lifeblood. Beast woman must climb deep, deep, paw where the lights do not follow. Paidbinder creeps to Beast Woman's den, bathed in blood of wound warriors. Why should Reef Talon speak with a human? I just want to ask some questions to determine whether or not you're a threat to Bastard's wound. So human really comes to hunt, or comes ready to hunt? A low rumble creeps from the back of her throat, only to be dismissed with a loud shuff. But Fate Biter has not bared fangs yet, is willing to listen perhaps. She watches you cautiously, silently awaiting your next words. Why flee the wound? You could have simply stopped using your magic. Too dangerous. What if Reef Talon's milk sickens cubs? What if blood corrodes stinker tools? No, too much to lose. Reef Talon will take no chances. We'll stay confined to depths. You be sure your powers won't manifest in a new way that harms settlers even from here? Beast Woman did not envision this. Fademinder speaks a possible truth. Sleepless poison is created by mending touch. What if same corruption grows stronger and spreads afar? Perhaps Reef Talon has been cursed for trespassing where human prima, called Kairos, forbids. What do you gain from hiding here? Not hiding, I'm saving others. Her breath clouds the cool air, her words sharp and prideful. Reef Talon could not let corrupting power harm kin and kith. Left homed in, but not abandoned tribe. Did not run and hide, but does not know what will solve problem. So you're content to let Jaspos and Wagstaff lead your tribe? Oh, oops. Would hope Ocean Mystic and Stonecutter choke on hatreds. Reef Talon is no longer prima, so cannot be concerned by such matters. How did you come to find the wound? For a moment her eyes grow dissonant and shed their intensity. Reef Talon has lived 4 lives. First life was free man to born in islands near human lands called Stalwart. Second life was a slave. She chuffs and banishes the thought with a shake of her head. Third life was prima to Wound Tribe, and now Reef Talon lives 4th life as wretched outcast, skulking in deep pits of old walls. What was your life as a Mantiborn like? Mantiborn are warriors of land and ocean, more free than land-trapped beastmen. Island kith are not quarrelsome like Tyr's tribes, not always leading packs to rend-rate kill rivals over parched land. Island warriors respect tribe boundaries where sand meets water. Beast Woman has no need to fight other tribes. Mother Ocean provides great maws and deep lurkers to test warriors and mystics to keep Mantiborn strong. Reef Talon's mouth stretches into a knowing smile. Has Fate Mitre wrestled with black-eyed great maw with head and tail of spears, or killed clear-skin lurker with glowing fangs and snakes for limbs? Has human ever heard deadly song of stinging cloud and stayed awake? Mantiborn does not need tribal war to stay fierce. Hunt, bleed, feed packmates was good life. The Beast Woman extends a claw towards a nearby chasm. Old Wall's waters are easy for Reef Talon to swim. Not afraid of dark waters, the scourge beasts sometimes lurk in deep places. How about your time in slavery? It was less than 7 years ago. Reef Talon awoke to nest beset with humans. Human tribe answering to Prima Stratus overwhelmed Reef Talon and kin. Likely survived only because humans desired captive muscle, not roasted beast. She narrows her eyes, ruminating over some remembered detail. Long did Reef Talon toil in confinement until mystics from Chorus tribe came one morning to human den. As humans drank-redded feasted over moonless night, blood rage filled Reef Talon and other captive kin. So only red awoke to butchered captors in freedom. Reef Talon does not know what fever possessed other beastmen, did not think to ask, only thought of escape. Though you were not witness to such events, you heard rumors of coarse blood chanters performing all manner of arcane experiments on the Mantiborn, the indigenous beastmen of Stalwart. Though you know little of what the study involved, this beast is proof that at least one victim survived the blood chanter's curiosity. So you learned your magic from Mantiborn mystics? No, Mantiborn groomed Reef Talon for such role, but only for a season. Outsiders came, mystic paint came off, war paint came on, and tribe was shattered. Reef Talon, never given rites of initiation, is not deserving of ancient title. Why did you come to lead the wound, even if briefly? Did not come to wound to be prima, but once arrived, Reef Talon was only proper answer. Was best at hunting new prey, showed kin and kith how to slink through deep dark, how to hold ground against scourge beasts. All beasts bowed to Reef Talon. Once, Wound Clan gathered to discuss Scourge Hunt and Old Walls. Stonecutter and the Ocean Mystic could not agree on plan, wished only to bicker and yell until Reef Talon roared and the whelps cowered. Tribe knew only Prima Reef Talon could maintain order, until Tribe became fearful of Prima's magic, though tough. Magic tough? Then Beast Woman could no longer inspire order, only fear. Let me ask you something else. I want to know more of your healing abilities. Does Fate Binder remember time before knowing to crawl? Beast Woman did not know such power existed until Packmates already mended. I have no answers for Fate Binder or Beast Woman. Are these powers awaken in you? Beast Woman cannot say for sure. Ever since coming to this place, Reef Talon feels hum of magic, but did not feel it until it already happened. Okay, I'll be there pretty soon. Packmate was injured on patrol, and Reef Talon ran to clutch injured whelp. Beast Woman remembers hearing lifeblood from inside dying body and roared it to obey. That's when mending right began to knit flesh. That's when Reef Talon's shame began. Why do you think the healed become sleepless? Can describe sensation of healing power, but not meaning. She pauses to think, listlessly tracing a painted symbol on her chest with a claw. When human lies on ground with lifeblood pouring from wounds, Reef Talon can sense blood rage inside dying creature. And when Beast Woman touches paw to human, Reef Talon can stoke blood rage to live longer? To demand blood keep pumping? I'm not explaining right. No, can't. But mystic gift always goes too far, always. Mending right's grab of life spark stretches far and fast until extinguished, snuffed around. After right, human's wounds close and lifeblood dries, but life spark is gone. Healed human is hollow, does not remember pain or pleasure, does not dream, is sleepless. Do you think being in the Old Walls gave you these powers? Maybe. Reef Talon never finished proper teaching to be mystic. Power always feels like it's coming from within Reef Talon, but maybe Old Walls awoken and mending right? That's something else. Tell me of the Sleepless. Greatest of shames. Reef Talon is sick and tribe with dreamlessness. Do you know how they were created? Beastwoman only knows that Sleepless were burned from mystic strength, from Reef Talon's corrupting touch. Dark Power's extremist life spark of dying humans. After mending right, humans look like living warm blood, but carries a hollow death on inside. Why are they down here? After mending rights, dreamless kith smell like spent flame. Hearts do not beat with purpose or desire to live. Dreamless always call out to Reef Talon, beg mewling for answers. Reef Talon has none. Sleepless brood will not leave Beastwoman. Always remind her of failure. Any idea why the Bane ignore the Sleepless? Same question ponders Reef Talon. Scourge beasts seek blood of Beastwoman, but never of Sleepless kith, even noisily Sleepless. Reef Talon thinks Sleepless cast no scent for Scourge beasts to smell, no dreams to tempt ancient hunters. I've only seen human Sleepless. Are there no Sleepless beasts? No, not yet. Used mending rights on beasts in pack, but saw no dreamless scar. Do you know of any way to cure them? If Beastwoman knew, would have already tried. Human sage called Lexeman insists Reef Talon as gift can mend better, but is wrong. His folly to try. Must never use wretched gift again. It's time for you to return to the wound in one form or another. Human will leave this place. Nothing to discuss. Leave Reef Talon to suffer withered kin. Let finding Reef Talon fade from memory. Return to the wound. You can be of help there, perhaps even lead the settlers. Reef Talon has already fouled packmates. Mending rights closed rips and tears, but left empty husk in place of human kith. Wound Tribe no longer expects Reef Talon as alpha or even lowly pack whelp. Fate Binder speaks empty words that cannot be fulfilled. You're only running because Sleepless remind you of your guilt. If I could help them find peace, would you return? You should lead. Neither Wagstaff nor Jaspos can truly unite the people of the wound. The beastmen still need you, regardless of what the humans think. Cannot return the wound. Shame has not faded into distant memory. Dreamless husk would follow Reef Talon back to tribe. Ocean Mystic Wagstaff and the Stonecutter Jaspos roar loudly. Wound leaders imitate Alpha, but must slink smile boast to scrounge respective tribe. True Primate is not scrounge. True Primate already has respect. It was like this when Reef Talon claimed Wound Tribe, but now packmates fear mending rights. Reef Talon does not have respect needed to tame Wagstaff and Jaspos. Mystic strength is source of dreamless corruption. Reef Talon could keep power buried inside and focus on leading hunt for Scourge beasts. Could still serve tribe. A dreamless brood clings to life. Hollow husks, always following Reef Talon. Steps stumble through dark halls and hunger for pack leader's call. No way to ease suffering of Sleepless except by death. Reef Talon will not kill feeble kith. Is Fatebinder suggesting? No. If that's the only way, then that's not an option. Human is foolish and cruel. Should not betray and give voice to futile hope. Should leave this place go further, and it'll fall so much further. No. Reef Talon is tired of running, and has Sleepless to protect. Cannot keep fleeing sadness, is chasing on Rump. Your blood is special. Wagstaff can use it to cleanse the waters for you to come. Will you submit and help the wound? No. Reef Talon has seen cages of torture and blood taking. Will not be skin inflated as common elk. What do we do? Level up, I guess. Make Chaos Blast better. What do we get? Oh, right, the more precise action. Okay, well, I think this is actually probably a pretty good place to wrap it up. I don't really know what the next steps are going to be. I need to figure out what I can do to help her out, I think. I'm not really sure what that would be. Talk to Lexeman? Fair an admission, you seem out of sorts. Are you sure aren't forgetting your sigils? Even slight deviations can disrupt proper casting. Your magic, all of it's gone, but you're a phenom. I never would have mastered half my expressions without your guidance, but it's all gone? Maybe you just need some rest. Maybe that would restore order to your mind. As am I. It's a curious malady, and one I only partially comprehend. As the name suggests, I haven't known sleep in several span. Is there a way to reverse your condition? Only Reef Talon knows, maybe Kairos. I vacillate between having optimism and pushing aside such painful daydreams. Okay. There's gotta be a way, right? I mean, maybe not. I'm gonna go over here and light this to see if I can get back here, but right after that I think I'm gonna call it, and then we'll be back on Thursday with some multiplayer stuff, and then Saturday for more of this, I think.
Sorry.
I'll be filling that one for a bit.
Can I actually cast, man? There we go. Always waiting for that massive clash sound.
I got it.
Okay. Well, I'll make a quick save and then we'll wrap it up here. Anybody out there that's watching, thanks for watching. Always appreciate it. Like I said, I'll be back on Thursday to play some multiplayer games with friends, and then it's either going to be Among Us or Monster Hunter. Never know which. And then I'll be back on Saturday, probably to... well, what's coming out this week? There's got to be something new to play this week. If not, I'll probably play a little bit of No More Heroes and then come back to this to see what I can do. But anyway, I'll let you go. Thanks, folks.